I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. I really don't understand these. There's a lot of big words and sciencey crap written in white papers and stuff that it looks official and it looks real. I don't know though. Okay. My brain is too small to understand this. Today we're installing some air cleaners. Now these are bipolar ionizers. Some sort of voodoo, I don't quite understand, but anyways, so what we're doing, the installation instructions of this air cleaner is that it's waterproof. So they say it can be mounted outside, exposed to the elements. And this is a commercial air cleaner, so it's good for up to 12 tons. This is a 10-ton unit. So what they want you to do is drill a 4-inch hole, you know, in the side of the unit and mount it exposed on the outside of the unit. But I'm not quite into that. Because the way that I see it is, looking at this, that's going to turn, you know, like a horrible color from the sun, and you're not going to be able to see through it. And then I don't see this being an amazing waterproof device, so I wanted it mounted inside. I'm not, you know, looking for perfection, but what I did was just took some aluminum angle, cut a slit, 45-degree angles in it, did a quick bend, nothing fancy, and then put a support bracket over here. So it's really only supported in 2 places, but it's not going nowhere, okay? Following their instructions, I have it set up to where the airflow passes through here. It wants it to pass through the 2 little chinguses right there that make the voodoo stuff happen. And then around. And this is the self-cleaning wand that basically so many times a day it spins around and brushes all the lint and dirt off. When I install them, I try to be as, you know, professional as possible. I cleaned up all my messes. You know, there's a little piece of thermostat wire, but basically there was a bunch of crap in here. We cleaned all that up. The wiring isn't too bad at all. They can go to multi-volts. So I went ahead and hooked this one up to 240 volts. The wiring goes right up through their existing loom back in there. There's a little foam thingy. Comes over here, nothing too fancy. We're not using the switch leg, so I just capped that off. And then I'm hooking into line voltage on, or load voltage on the indoor blower motor contactor. So that way when the indoor blower motor pulls in, that air cleaner starts working. And then when the indoor blower motor turns off, the air cleaner stops working. No sense in it running without the blower motor. Went ahead and grounded everything out. You can also, I've done where you wire them to 24 volts too, but you have to be careful with the 24 volts, wiring them to the G terminal, because when it's in heating mode, depending on how you have it set up, you might not get a call for 24 volts at G. So keep that in mind. Wiring to the blower contactor is better, but I also don't like wiring to high voltage because you have more potential of a big electrical problem versus wiring to 24 volts where you have less potential. But it is what it is. This is the best way that I found to do it. So I'm not looking for perfection. We're not trying to be all fancy. Nothing too crazy. So we'll take you through the process of how we do everything. Because we're putting air cleaners, we got to do the customer a proper service, and we're going to go and vacuum this out real quick, clean all the debris and dust, and then we're going to put sanitizer on the evaporator and then put new air filters in the unit. So we've got the Viper Strike Back Sanitizer right here. So we're gonna go ahead and give it a good spray down. This stuff you don't rinse. I don't see the need for a coil cleaning on this one, so we're just gonna vacuum it and then do the sanitizer. And then basically sanitize out as we come out. Everything gets hit. I need to make another one of these. I've already made one, so it's pretty easy now that I have the dimensions, okay? We're gonna set it up the same. So we need it to go just like this, okay? So it's really easy. We're just gonna measure. 4 inches, then an angle. So give ourselves a 4-inch mark right there. Okay, then after the 4-inch mark, we're going to go 3 inches. Give ourselves a 3-inch mark. Doesn't got to be super perfect. 3-inch mark, okay, we're good there. And then after that, I need a couple 3-inch pieces. Just 3-inch angles for the extra support. So we're going to give ourselves a 3-inch mark, 6-inch mark, a 9-inch mark, and we'll go ahead and give ourselves a 12-inch mark. Okay, so speed square is going to be your best friend. Essentially, looking at that one, what we need to do is use the speed square right here. We're going to copy this piece right here. So we're going to go to our first mark right there using the straight edge. There you go. Flip it over. Use the straight edge till it meets. There you go. All right, that's that. We got our mark there for the cutout. And then we need to go ahead and mark this guy for the straight edge that we're cutting. Using the speed square again. We're gonna have to use it from the other side. And it doesn't have to be perfect, guys. There's one cut. There's another cut. Another cut. Another cut. Do the other side. Easy peasy. 1, 2, 3, and then last cut right here. 4. Double check everything, and then we're going to cut it. And it looks like we need to do one more right here. Forgot about this one to kind of even it out. 1, 2. There you go. Okay, we're going to double check everything to make sure that we're going to get the right cut when we do this. So size is right. Size is right. This is going to be the angle cut, and then these are going to be the straights. Okay, I'm going to use my little die grinder. It's not super powerful, but it works, does its job. Okay, and this is the tricky one. Okay, while it's still hot, give it a bend. We're not looking for perfection here, guys. Again, this thing has plenty of support. If we were doing something else, I'd have this welded and all fancy. Okay, so we've got our angle now. It'll support what we need, and we have all of our small pieces. All right, so I've done quite a few of these. Carrier units are the easiest to work with, so I kind of have an idea what I'm doing. I pre-drill a lot of holes, make a lot of adjustments. It's pretty easy once you get used to them. So I'm just kind of doing what I know I need to do. Got them pre-drilled, pre-marked. Slap them out. That's going to get mounted about right there. That'll be perfect. Not hitting anything, using shorty screws, so. Right, again, it's not perfection, guys. It doesn't need to be absolutely perfect. It's mounted so the air is going to come by it, go through the little things. This is safe up into here. We'll get it wired in just like I did on the other one. I want to talk about something. If you follow the installation instructions for these right here, it says to install between the air filter and the coil. Well, this is a package unit. There's no way to do that. It says you can alternate the location to supply airstream, return airstream. So then I had a decision to make. Do I install them in the supply or the return? Well, the return, I'm worried because they're going to get full of dirt because it would be before the filters. So I installed them in the mixed air cabinet right here, or supply airstream essentially. That's a waterproof container, so I'm not worried about moisture intrusion. So this is the best place that I can install them, okay? All right, we're installed and we're ready to start it up. Vacuumed out all my little metal shavings. The last thing is we need to power the unit on. We got to do this quick. And what we're gonna do, I have it jumpered out so the indoor fan's gonna turn on, okay? And I'm not gonna be able to talk, but we're looking for a display to say on and for it to say GPS, meaning that it's energized and everything is good. All right, so the frame rate doesn't catch it too well, but everything's good. We're gonna go ahead and take the jumper out and put this unit back in operation. All right, I did a bunch of these and I ended up with a bunch extra of these iWave-Rs. So what happened was the customer wanted to go with the commercial version after we had installed these for a couple months. So we ended up pulling out a bunch of these iWave-Rs and going with the commercial ones just to make sure that they met the proper CFM tonnage requirement. This is basically good for up to 2,000 CFMs if I remember correctly, and then the other ones are good for up to 12 tons. So anyways, went ahead and deconstructed one because I wanted to know how it works. So this is the power supply. Now, I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. I really don't understand these. There's a lot of big words and sciencey crap written in white papers and stuff that it looks official and it looks real. I don't know though. Okay. My brain is too small to understand this. I did reach out to another social media influencer, Big Clive Mitchell, and he kind of filled me in a little bit. And we're actually going to have him on the HVAC Overtime show the day that this releases, the Friday. We're going to have him on, and we're going to be talking about these air cleaners, and we'll all be giving our opinions. This one's pretty cool though, little guy. Okay, I've got one that's powered up right now. It's just wired into a 115 volt receptacle. This particular brand, this is rebranded by New Calgon, but it's made by Global Plasma Solutions, I believe is what you pronounce their name. I should say that, interestingly enough, GPS or Global Plasma Solutions, I believe that's how you say it, does not have one that looks like this on their website, but the other ones they do have on their website, which kind of makes me wonder if they make one specifically for New Calgon, just so that way New Calgon can have their very own one. But the guts, I think, are pretty much the same. And there's a lot of filler in here, too, as far as wasted space. But anyways, circuit board's pretty plain and simple. I believe the main purpose of this circuit board, is to step down the voltage. And also it runs this little servo motor, which is just the little cleaning feature. So it has logic built in that it's going to automatically run the cleaning feature, and or you can push this button right here. And when you push it, it's going to do a self-clean. All that Chingus does is just brush the lint or dust off the brushes. Interesting. And then it's going to go and stop right on the little stop. Pretty cool little feature. Now, these brushes is the needle point, my research and what's been told to me. So the way that this works is all these little points right here. Between these 2 points on the inside, they run extremely high voltage through this power supply right here. First, I thought this was a capacitor, but I was corrected. It's a giant power supply, which would make sense because I couldn't get a capacitance reading across it. But it sure looks like they use a capacitor housing for it. Interesting. Just nothing really too crazy. On these things right here, now I broke this one, but these brushes are actually replaceable. Interesting. You pop them out and it's got a little fitting and it's just crimped onto a fitting. It's got a female connection point right there. So that's kind of cool, replaceable. So supposedly what happens is a very high voltage runs between these. It creates positive and negative ions. And those positive and negative ions, if I understand it correctly, bond to the contaminants and bring them down to the floor or something like that. Interesting is that there's an airflow, a cool air breeze because of the high voltage and the positive and negative ions. It's, again, some voodoo magic to me because I just don't simply understand it. I've got a little vane anemometer here. Without touching them, there's quite a little airflow that's created from the high and low, from the positive and negative ions, or the high voltage or whatever. I'm probably saying everything wrong, which is really interesting. Now, this is meant to be in an Airstream, so I went ahead and installed one of these on my home unit. I honestly have had it on there for 3 days. I can't tell you that I notice a difference. It's just on there. Supposedly, according to their documents, they help to reduce odors and different things like that. Again, it's one of those things. How would you, I guess, you know, an interesting experiment that maybe we'll do in the future is maybe take like a giant pickle jar and set it over there. We'd need 2 pickle jars though, really. We need 2 empty pickle jars that were both freshly empty to see which one loses the pickle smell first. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know if these things could reduce an acidic smell. I've seen like videos on the internet where someone puts a glass jar and they fill it with smoke and this thing supposedly removes the smoke. I don't know. This is just one of those things where I don't know if I believe in the magic or not. I mean, when you read the paperwork, it sure looks like it would work. It's very science-y. But I'm just a dumb knuckle buster, so I don't really know, you know, how much. I don't really understand the science behind it, to be honest with you. It's a little beyond my head, but very interesting, though. I do have to say, the little kid in me sees that as a please touch me. I'm not going to do it for the sake of YouTube in this video, but it's right there. I swear I'm a little kid. Like, anyways. All right. This was just a little bonus video I thought I'd make. Hopefully you guys liked it. We'll catch you guys on the next one.